Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Skokin. This is the last lesson in our Chapter 5 about probability. Our learning targets are: use the general multiplication rule to calculate probabilities, use a tree diagram to model a chance process involving a sequence of outcomes and to calculate probabilities, and when appropriate, use the multiplication rule for independent events to calculate probabilities. The backdrop for this lesson is a game. The rules of the game are: there are 5 cards total, 2 are aces and 3 are kings. The player chooses the first card, writes down the result, and then chooses the second card without putting the first card back into the 5-card deck, and then records the result of the second card. The player wins if they get either a pair of aces or a pair of kings. If we were doing this in person, then one person would be the dealer and the other one would be the player, and then you would trade. The idea is for you to play the game 10 times. I'm going to write down the results that I got when I played the game, and you're going to record the results that you got when you play the game, and then calculate the rest of the page according to your results. Out of the 10 games that I played, I won 3 times. If we were together, we'd be able to go up to the front of the room and draw on the board how many wins out of 10 each person got. If you remember my fictitious class of 30 students, we're going to say that we won 116 out of 300 games, and that's 0.387 to 3 decimal places. Number 3 says, let's try to use a tree diagram to calculate the theoretical probability. So just a reminder, we started out with 2 aces and 3 kings. So when we draw the first card and we're trying to determine the probability that the first card is an ace, we know that there are 2 aces out of 5 cards in the game. And that means that the probability that the first card is a king is going to be 3, because there are 3 kings out of the 5 cards. Now, let's stick with when the first card is an ace. Out of the 2 aces in the 5, if the first card is an ace and we pull it out, then what is the probability that the second card is also an ace? And that's right here. And there's only 4 cards remaining, and only one of them is an ace. When we think about pulling that second card, if the first card was an ace, what is the probability that the second card is a king? There are, again, only 4 cards remaining, but all of the kings are still there, so that would be 3 out of 4. Now you can see that we're showing these probabilities in fractions because it makes a lot more sense to figure out when we're going through it the first time. Later on, we could show them as percents or as decimal numbers if we want to. Now, when we come all the way out here to see what is the probability that the first card is an ace and the second card is an ace, this is where we multiply. So the probability that the first card is an ace is 2/5, and we multiply that to the probability that the second card is an ace, which is 1/4, and we end up with 2 out of 20, which of course we know is 1/10. Now, when we go to the first card is an ace and then the second card is a king branch, we are going to get the probability that the first card is an ace and the second card is a king, again by multiplying. So 2/5 times 3/4, and we end up with 6/20. Okay, so now we have the other branch where the first card that we pull is a king, and the probability that we can get an ace for the second card, there are 4 cards remaining and both aces are still there, so that's going to be 2 out of 4. if the first card is a king and we're pulling the second card, what's the probability that the second card is a king? Well, there are 4 cards remaining. One of the 3 kings is gone, so that leaves 2. And so when we calculate the probabilities of the first card is a king and the second card is an ace, again, we're going to multiply, so this is going to be 3/5 times 2/4, which is 6/20. And the probability that the first card is a king and the second card is a king is going to be 3/5 times 2/4, which is 6/20. Now, you will notice that these probabilities on the outside actually total 1. 2 plus 6 is 8, plus another 12 is going to give us 20 out of 20, or 1. If you remember, we win when we either have an ace and an ace, which happens here, or a king and a king, which happens here. So if we wanted to find the probability of winning the game, it would be 2/20 plus 6/20, which is 8/20, or 0.40. 40% chance of winning the game. Just going to fill in some notation here. This is the probability that the first card we drew was an ace. And here we have the conditional probability that the second card was an ace, say second, given that or knowing that the first card was an ace. And here we have an and probability, so that's the probability of A and B, event A and event B, which means they happen at the same time, and that is equal to the probability of A times the probability of B given A. On number 5, we have a conditional probability question. What is the probability that the first card was a king, given that the person won the game? You may remember, and it's on your formula sheet, that the probability of A given B is equal to the probability of A and B over the probability of B. So when it comes to this specific situation, we are finding the probability that the first card is a king, given that or knowing that the person won. And that is going to translate into the probability that the person won or that someone won goes in the denominator, and that we found was 8 out of 20, or 0.40. And the probability that someone got a king and won means it's got to be, or that the first card was a king, they're going down this path. First card was a king and they won. So that is 6 out of 20, or 0.30. So the conditional probability that the first card was a king, given that the person won the game, is 0.75. Let's summarize what we've learned in our box of important ideas on the next page. Our first learning target was use the general multiplication rule to calculate probabilities. And just as we learned that or in probability means add or plus, multiply in probability means and. So when we want to find the probability of A and B, it's going to be equal to the probability of A times the probability of B given A, which is, you remember, a conditional probability. Our second learning target was use a tree diagram to model a chance process involving a sequence of outcomes and to calculate probabilities. We start out with event A either happening or not happening, and the probabilities associated with A and not A. If event A happened, Then we have two other possible outcomes, events B and C. And then we've got the conditional probabilities associated with each one of those. The probability that event B happens knowing that event A happened, and the probability of event C happening knowing that event A happened. If event A didn't happen, or A complement happened, then we have those same two possible outcomes, B and C, with the conditional probabilities associated with each one of those events. As we travel down the four possible branches of this tree diagram, we end up with AND probabilities. The first one is the probability of A and B. The next one is the probability of A and C. Next, we have the probability of not A and B. And last of all, we have the probability of not A and C. Now, just as a reminder, these probabilities, all of these AND probabilities, add to 1. And that brings us to our third learning target, which is, when appropriate, use the multiplication rule for independent events to calculate probabilities. And independence, you may remember, is associated with our conditional probabilities. If A and B are independent events, then the probability of B given A is equal to the probability of B, and that means that the probability of A and B is equal to the probability of A times the probability of B. One more important thing that we need to talk about, and that is that the probability of at least 1 is 1 minus the probability of none. And you'll need that rule for question C in the Check Your Understanding. So that does bring us to the Check Your Understanding questions, and you will be doing a tree diagram in part A. In part B, you've got an AND probability. In part C, you've got an at least 1 probability. And in part D, you've got a conditional probability. So good luck with the Check Your Understanding questions. Remember that when you're finished, go into Canvas and check your answers. See you back in class.